Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Our whole goal here is to take these big, complicated topics and just make them make sense.
So, today we're going to build this amazing tool together that'll help you understand the economy. Seriously, by the end of this, you're going to have this new superpower for seeing how the world really works. We'll do it piece by piece, looking at these 5 key areas. All right, let's just dive right in, shall we? I want to start with a question that, believe me, affects every single purchase you make every single day. It's not random at all. The answer is actually in this kind of beautiful push and pull between two basic forces: the folks who want to buy stuff and the folks who want to sell it. It's like this constant, silent negotiation happening all around us. Okay, so let's start with our side of the story, us, the buyers. All of our wants and decisions, when you add them all up, they create this powerful force called demand. And it's all built on this one really simple idea: the law of demand. And honestly, this is something you already know deep down. It's super intuitive, right? The more expensive something gets, the less likely we are to buy it, assuming nothing else changes. I mean, if your favorite coffee spot jacked up their prices overnight, you'd probably go a little less often. That relationship, price goes up, buying goes down, that's the key right there. So, when you draw this out, you get this classic picture, the downward sloping demand curve. It's basically a map of how we all think. You can see right there, when the price is way up high, not many people are buying. But look what happens when the price falls. Suddenly, way more people are interested. Now, this is a really important distinction. A simple price change, let's say a summer sale on ice cream, that just causes a movement along the curve we're already on. We just slide down it because, hey, cheap ice cream. But what if something else changes? Like a huge study comes out that says ice cream is the new superfood. Well, that's a non-price thing. That causes the entire curve to shift over to the right. It means people want more ice cream at any price now. Okay, so that's us, the buyers. Simple enough, right? Now let's flip the coin and look at the whole thing from the other perspective. The sellers, the people making the stuff. Their decisions create the second big force we call supply. And again, this just makes total sense if you put yourself in their shoes. If you're running a business and the price people are willing to pay for your product suddenly skyrockets, well, you're gonna have a huge incentive to make and sell as much of it as you can, right? Higher prices mean more profit, and that gets producers excited. And what does that look like on a graph? You guessed it, an upward sloping supply curve. It's basically the mirror image of demand. See, at really low prices, only the super efficient producers can make a profit. But as the price climbs, it becomes worth it for more and more suppliers to jump into the market. And just like we saw with demand, we have to talk about movements versus shifts. So, if the market price for coffee beans goes up, a coffee farmer will just move up along their existing supply curve. They'll sell more. But what if a new technology comes along, like a robot that harvests beans for way cheaper? That changes the whole game. That's a shift. The entire supply curve moves to the right because now they can supply more coffee at every single price. Okay, so we've met our two main characters. We have the buyers, who want low prices, and we have the sellers, who want high prices. So what happens when you put them in the same room, in the marketplace? Well, this is where the real magic happens. When you put both of those curves on the same graph, you can see they're headed straight for each other. It's like a collision course, isn't it? Buyers are pulling the price down, sellers are pushing it up. And there is only one single point where they're both going to be happy. And that intersection, that's the aha moment. It's called market equilibrium. It is the perfect price where the amount of stuff buyers want to buy is exactly equal to the amount of stuff sellers want to sell. Every unit made gets a home. No leftovers, no one left empty-handed. It's the price that clears the market. But here's the really cool part. At that perfect price, a lot of us actually get a bonus. Think about it. Maybe you were totally willing to pay, say, $7 for that coffee, but the market price was only $5. That extra $2, that's your consumer surplus. It's that awesome feeling of, hey, I got a great deal. And it's not just us. Sellers get a bonus too. It's called producer surplus. That coffee shop, maybe their cost was only $3 a cup. They would have been willing to sell it for that, but hey, the market said the price is $5. So that extra $2 is pure profit for them. And here's the big takeaway. When a market is left alone to find this equilibrium point, the total value created, that's all the consumer surplus plus all the producer surplus, is maximized. It's as big as it can possibly get. You literally can't make everyone better off. It's the most efficient outcome for society. But what happens when something gets in the way? What if an outside force, maybe the government, steps in and says, nope, you can't charge that price? What happens when the market isn't allowed to find its natural happy place? Let's take a classic example. Imagine a law gets passed that says gasoline can't be sold for more than $2 a gallon, even though the market wants it to be 4. This is called a price ceiling. You can't go above it. And on the surface, it sounds great, right? Cheaper gas for everyone. But let's see what our supply and demand model tells us will actually happen.
Well, with that artificial price cap, our two fundamental laws basically go to war with each other. The law of demand kicks in, and everyone wants to buy tons of this super cheap gas. But at the same time, the law of supply says that at that low price, producers have way less incentive to sell it. So you get this huge, massive gap between how much people want and how much is actually for sale.
And when you have an imbalance that big, it always leads to the exact same result. A shortage, plain and simple. There's just not enough to go around. And what does that look like in the real world? Long lines, gas stations with sorry, no gas signs, and a whole lot of frustrated people. So remember all that awesome value we talked about, the consumer and producer surplus? What happened to it? Well, it shrinks a lot. This interference creates something economists call dead weight loss. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's value that is just destroyed. It doesn't go to anyone. It's just gone, poof, because the market wasn't allowed to do its job. So there you have it. You now have the basic tools. So think about this final question here. Why on earth can a concert ticket for a huge star cost thousands of dollars? Well, now you know. The demand is absolutely insane, right? Millions of fans. But the supply? It's totally fixed. There are only so many seats in that arena. The supply curve is basically a vertical line. You can't just build more seats. So with massive demand and fixed supply, the price has to go way, way up to find that equilibrium. See? From your morning coffee to the biggest events in the world, you now have this superpower for seeing the hidden forces of supply and demand that shape pretty much everything.